Good morning, Arsene. It's back to the Premier League this weekend. Could you tell us your team news, please?
Normally we have no injuries from Marseille game. The only player who could come back in the squad is Arteta, who comes back into full training today. I have to make the decision about him tomorrow morning.
How much have you missed Arteta as a player and also as a human being? He's very influential.
He is very influential and he's a leader, one of the leaders of the team. So of course, and he's a technical leader as well. We are happy to have him back, but as well because at the moment, with the number of injuries we have, we are a bit short, and we have plenty of games in front of us. So it's good news.
Arsenal's away form is about as good as it gets at the moment. Is there still a job to do on the home form?
Yes. If you look at the numbers, yes, because away from home we have been remarkably consistent, and at home we want, of course, to create the same consistency.
Just finally from me, Stoke seems to be changing their style a bit under a new manager. The passing stats certainly suggest that. How hard is that to do?
Look, it's always difficult to change the style of a team because you're judged immediately on the results. But for me, it shows as well that Stoke has good players, because when they are capable to adapt, it's always a sign of quality, and they look to have adapted remarkably quickly.
Well, Arsene, Aaron Ramsey is the man of the moment at the moment. When did you notice that he'd overcome like the physical and perhaps more so the mental effects of what happened to him at Stoke, given you've got Stoke over the weekend?
It took him a long time to get that completely over that, especially in duels, in the fights. You know, he had a little resistance to go into the fights for a long time, but now he's over it. For the rest, he scores goals now. I always thought he would score goals if he improves his technical quality, because when you watched the games, you saw him always in good positions in the box, and when he got the chances, he missed sometimes a short first touch, and he has improved tremendously on that, and that's why he scores goals. He has a great engine, great spirit, and has an obsession. He wants always to be better, you know, and that's of course very good ingredients.
You said it took him a long time. Was there a moment though that you noticed that you thought he is over it? And is it as recently as this season?
It is in the last 3-4 months of last season, but I thought physically he had a difficult period in mid-season, you know, where it was. People became impatient a little bit with him. He lost confidence, and sometimes you give the players a little rest. They can rebuild their confidence. They can think about their game, and they come back stronger. That's what happened to him.
Did you fear ever at all that perhaps he wouldn't come back to what we're seeing now, given what happened to him?
No, because there's a basic rule in our game: when you have a big injury before the age of 20, you come back and redevelop completely normally once the psychological damage is out of your head. So I was not too much worried, but you never know how big, how deep the impact is psychologically.
In those dark times, were there any other clubs who ever came in for Aaron Ramsey, and was there ever a consideration on your part that you might let him go?
No, because I extended his contract during the period where he was not at his best.
When you see how this season is panning out, and given the number of changes that have been made managerial-wise with the top teams, and also how the season has started with those top teams, do you feel this is Arsenal's best chance to win this title since you've been at the Emirates, and how many teams do you feel can realistically challenge for the title?
That's a difficult question to answer. I believe we have a chance, And what is the most important is my full energy has to be on making sure that we can grab that chance. After that, it's too early to assess completely who will be in the fight and who will not be in the fight. You know, you're a bit cautious because today you're very quickly in a crisis, and one bad result and everybody questions your potential to be in there. So let's just be consistent. But you know as well as I do the teams who will fight for the championship. And you have 4 or 5 teams who will fight, and you know the names.
I must just quickly ask you about Theo Walcott. His first goal of the season the other night. How much confidence do you think that will give him moving on for the rest of the season? And was it a worry that he hadn't scored?
For me, no, because I know that he's a good finisher and he created the chances. I would have been worried if he didn't create any chance, but I wasn't too much worried. But the players always need that, and the fact that he scored certainly will get that out of the way now, and they will be scoring regularly because he created many chances recently, and I'm sure he will. That's really in cycles, the finishing, and that's for everybody the same.
What do you feel is his best position, Arsene?
Walcott?
Yeah.
Right side at the moment.
Right. Let me ask you a couple of general questions about, first of all, Qatar, and it looks as if now the World Cup is going to be staged in our summer. What's your reaction to that? What's your take on that? It's been a long time coming.
Well, the FIFA has to stand up for that because I don't know all the projects who were submitted to the FIFA. They decided at the time of the vote that it would be Qatar, and that they know as well as we know the World Cup is in the summer. It's in the rules of the FIFA. I personally supported England, not very successful, unfortunately, but it was like that. They voted for Qatar. They have to stand up for it now and make sure that it is done in decent conditions.
Can I ask you your take also on rainbow laces this weekend?
Well, we are against. I'm personally against every. For me, that is linked with racism. You know, it's not needed to me. Every single difference as a fight for every week. You could find a reason to do that. It's a kind of racism, and that should all be included in a fight against racism.
And so your players are just going to be given free rein as to whether or not...
Completely free. Everybody's in our club. Everybody is free to, of course, to have his own opinion about these kind of things.
Just one final question about Stoke this weekend. I know that in the past you've not possibly enjoyed playing against their style of play. Are you looking a bit forward more to this match on Sunday? No,
for us it's a game. You know, where the style of play was more difficult to cope with at Stoke than at your own home. But it is a good side, Stoke, and in the Premier League, I believe all the top teams today are very, very focused in every single game, because what we have learned in the last 2 years, all of us, is that every single game is a battle where you need to be at your best if you want to win it.
Arsene, just going back to Aaron Ramsey, is it sort of a testament to his ability and his mental strength? Because obviously you talked about the struggles he went through last season with some of the Arsenal fans sort of getting on his back, and he was trying to overcome the issues that you were talking about earlier as well. Yeah,
I believe that every test like that that you pass, you come back mentally stronger, and it's a good test as well, because in our career you go through periods where people like you a bit less or hate you a bit more, and if you can deal with that, it makes you only stronger.
And Olivier Giroud's had a good start to the season. 1 or 2 questions were asked about his first season. Do you feel he's now becoming the player that you always had confidence in?
I believe that he has improved as well technically and in his link play, and that will come out through the season. He has a huge physical presence, and he's a type of striker that are very difficult to find nowadays, you know. And this is a big test for Olivier, but I'm sure he will have a great season.
Do you think he's sort of grown in stature as well as one of the main men in the side as well?
He has a kind of belief, positive mentality that comes out, you know. He has a good self-esteem. That is a very important quality when you're a striker, because you have to deal with a lot of pressure, and it doesn't affect him too much when he doesn't always score. But overall, I think he's a very strong mentality.
And just finally, do you sense a real growing confidence in this squad after what happened against Aston Villa, and you've really recovered from that? It's been a really good start to the season, hasn't it?
Yes, we had a very, very, very bad start on the first game, and after that, I believe that we were really quickly tested, because when we lost against Aston Villa, we had to go to Turkey and to play two derbies, Tottenham and Fulham. So mentally, it was a big test for us, and we responded well.
Arsene, just on Olivier Giroud, just following that up, the fact that you weren't able to bring in another striker this summer, do you think that's given him a new lease of life in a way?
Look, it was every day when he opened the newspaper, he saw another striker coming here, and never made any statement and just played. And for me, that's the best answer you can give when you're a football player. Don't talk too much, play and show how good you are. And many people forget that sometimes, but that's the core of our job.
Another player who's doing just that is Wayne Rooney at Manchester United. He was a player that you were linked with. Do you think he'll stay there now?
I think he will stay there now, because he wasn't sold during the transfer window. But he does exactly the same, and for me it's the right attitude.
From your information though, do you think he'll sign a new contract there? Do you think there's any chance you could get him there?
Honestly, I don't know.
But if he was available, would you still be interested maybe in January?
It's better you should have asked me the question straight away.
Yes. Yes.
I've done this the wrong way around.
I just can say again, honestly, I don't know.
How do you feel? How do you feel that Ozil has settled in? Arsene?
Well, integrated well, been well accepted. I think he's not at the top physically yet, and overall we are of course very pleased to have him with us, but he will demand a little bit time to adjust to the vigorous body challenges he will face here in the Premier League. Once he has done that, he will be even stronger.
Perez Real Madrid suggested that he looked to leave there because he couldn't handle the pressure of the demands of Real Madrid. Have you seen anything to indicate that he's the type of player?
No, not at all. You know, if he's 24 years old, he has over 50 caps in Germany, and when you play for Germany, you're under a lot of pressure. When you play, he won the championship with Real Madrid, and but Real Madrid is a club where is a lot of pressure, but I couldn't detect that.
Just on the World Cup, can you clarify then? You would be happy for it to be in the summer in 2020. You wouldn't have an issue with that.
The World Cup?
Yeah.
No, for me, the main worry is for the fans. It's not for the players, because the players will adapt, will play under circumstances where they are always in good conditions. The problem you can raise is how will the number of fans who go to the World Cups, how can they cope with the heat and with the conditions that are extreme in the summer. You know, that's the main worry. I hope when the FIFA made that decisions that they considered that, because it is of course one of it is the only worry, in fact.
It's not a new problem though, because you've had America World Cup, Mexico World Cup. I mean, you know, the World Cup's traditionally been played you know, in conditions which are not really ideal for probably fans or players. So does it really make any difference?
No, what I said that, for example, the stadiums will certainly be air conditioning, but you cannot have that in every street. But certainly, Qatar has the financial power to organize that very well. I'm open to any idea, you know, if it's better in the winter, why not? But I've not seen the proposal of Qatar, what they've done, and the FIFA has decided that is a fantastic project. Why not? I believe them.
Arsenal, I think Arsenal fans have been really impressed with how Flamini has settled straight back into the surroundings here at Arsenal. Will that make it even harder now, do you think, for Arteta to get back in because Flamini is playing so well?
Look, we are a squad. We cannot play with 11 players for the whole season. I believe that Arteta will get back in the team and that Flamini, all of them will get their share of games. You calculate in a squad, the maximum the players can play is 70% of the games, you know, so that means there's a lot of room for the other players as well. I think we have the right number, and when everybody's back, of course, there's competition for places.
I was going to say, when people are debating when everyone's fit what your strongest team is,
Yeah.
there is real competition now, especially in the midfield area.
Especially in midfield, yes, there will be a lot of competition, yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Take the microphones out.